We're on.
There it is. Greetings, everybody. It's Brian Terrian from the Disability Digest, and welcome to our YouTube live event today. I have Danielle and Jam with us to help out with today's session. So welcome. Today, I'm going to go through what I call the bottom line, which is the main topic I'm going to share with you about what you need to do to get your benefits and what you need to do to keep them. And I've made a very pretty picture to share with everybody, so make sure you hang out and don't miss it. Before that, I'm going to go through some questions that I thought were newsworthy of sharing with everybody, and a few tips that I picked up along the way this week. That's what we have on tap. For those of you that are joining us or maybe new, these are general interest events that we do here in these YouTube Live, where we share something that we hope is educational to help you get your benefits, keep your benefits, or maximize your benefits, and we answer some questions. So as you come on in, and welcome, Lana, glad to have you here. We're going to take time. We're going to take time as well today to answer any questions. Either I will or Jam will. Right, Jam?
Sure.
Okay, we ready to get started? I guess so. First thing is, I want to just welcome everybody that's new. In the last 28 days, we've had 3,106 people have subscribed to our YouTube channel. So we are grateful to have you here. So I hope you enjoy the event. Of course, if you do, we invite you to share it. All right, so the first question that I want to go over was a YouTube comment that was brought up, and this one of several. And it goes like this. It's been reported that they are using agents that act like CIA investigators to go around and spy on people and use folks' social media against us. Most alarming is they're placing hidden cameras to spy on disabled folks. Is this true? And if so, do they have to go to this extreme? Well, I don't know if it is true for sure. I do know this. I know that in the budget that President Biden had, as every president has had, is there is a section of funds allocated to the integrity program. And the integrity program, as Social Security views it, is an effort to make sure that people that should be on benefits are on benefits, and those that, in their opinion, don't qualify shouldn't be. And they do have funding for trucks, and they do have surveillance equipment and all of that. So this is my best advice in this situation, is if you follow the work that we do and control the controllables, like what you need to say and do to prove that you still qualify, they can survey you, they can do whatever they like, but you're still going to qualify. So that's one thing. The second thing is, try to avoid doing stupid stuff on your social media. Like, if you are on disability benefits or attempting to get on it, and you go on vacation and there's pictures of you jet skiing in Jamaica, for example, and you're trying to get your disability benefits, and your case is built on having, like a bad back or one of those symptoms, just don't do that stuff. It's just not smart. And that actually gets people in trouble. I feel that using social media effectively is a great resource, especially if you use it and leverage it. And some of the prior work that we've done in the last month or so to like build a YouTube channel or to communicate effectively or do something that makes a difference. That's different. Okay. Next point is veterans. I'm going to state the problem, briefly cover the issues. There'll be more information coming out about the details of this. veterans, people that have served in our armed services, who I'm very grateful for the effort, the sacrifice that you've done, have a difficult time getting their disability benefits approved, even if they're 100% rated by the Veterans Administration, which means that they've served and they have limitations from their service that are rated by the Veterans Administration as 100%. Now, if they were 10%, they might have, one issue wrong with them, 20 more, so on and so forth. So 100% is a lot. So when people are 100% rated or 80, they still have challenges. It's not, that rating doesn't really have a major influence. I used to think so, but it doesn't have a major influence on your ability to get disability benefits. In a lot of ways, if you're using the VA for treatment, it can be a challenge because the VA records don't clearly communicate the limitations. That's one of the problems. And typically veterans are taught to play hurt. They're taught to deal with their pain, with their discomfort, so they don't communicate their limitations. So the third point is, believe it or not, a lot of the Social Security judges are ex-veterans. And this is just, I've heard this from other people that do this work. And if you're receiving a 100% VA rating, you're already getting money from one government program, and they're not going to give out a second government benefit easily. So that's called bias, but I've heard it happen, heard it from a few different people. So follow the work that we do. You really need to have, just don't presume that it's an entitlement. It isn't for anybody. You have to do the right things. Here's another one. This is kind of a common general interest one. This is from Olivia from our YouTube channel. It says, I have a question. I understand medication compliance. If a doctor suggests a steroid, or you can take steroid out and put in anything else, painkiller, sleeping medication, and you refuse it. So somebody prescribes something, doctor, and you refuse it. Is that considered to be non-compliant? And just a brief heads up, Jam has put, I believe you have, Jam, put questions in the chat. So it would really help us if you, while I'm going through these, if you answered those. And of course, any other questions that you may have, we're going to take time to answer those at the end. So back to the program. If something doesn't work for you, like a medication or treatment, and you choose not to do it, and you don't explain the reason why to your doctor and they agree on it, then yeah, you're going to have a challenge with that. So the way to address this is, let's take a steroid injection or pain medication as a common one. They actually wreck your liver and people are reluctant to take them. So you have to explain to your doctor why you don't want to take it and make sure that that is in your medical records so you're compliant. And what could happen is, if you don't do that, if Social Security comes through and they say, oh, geez, I see that you've been, asked to take steroid injections and 5 medications, and you're only taking 3 medications, and you haven't been taking your steroid injection. Well, if you had done that, you'd feel better and you could work. So that's what you want to avoid. Lots of questions about delays and approval times, but I just put out the update from last month. So if you haven't listened to that, it goes through in more detail what's going on. Starting to see Social Security get caught up, and so are others, meaning that some of their decision times, when they say it's 5 months, are actually 5 months. But there's a big chunk of people out there that are stuck waiting for an initial decision that should have been 5 months, that's at 14 to 16 months. You have to be careful about what to do. You can put some pressure on them, but you want to make sure that your case is in the right shape, like all your doctor's information is in there, that they have everything that they need before you start asking them for a decision, because they could decide on your case, on your decision, and it could be missing information, which is going to be a denial. So there's other information about using representatives, different strategies that you can use, and videos that we have, or if you're working with one of our wonderful advocates here, they can point you in the right direction or share this with you. Been working on lots of side gigs that we've covered. So for those of you that are interested in, working, we've covered anything from super passive things that you can do to like lying on your back and donating plasma is what members are doing, getting paid for it. Mystery shopping, which you're going to learn more about in the next few weeks, but that's another way that people are shopping, doing reports, flexible with their schedule, supplementing their income. But this is another one that came in I thought was interesting. And this, I forget the member's name, but it says, I'm receiving X amount of dollars a month and I have a chance to do a medical study. Thought that was interesting. And the medical study will pay $8,950 total. And it's paid on a monthly basis of $745, which is perfect because it's below the allowed amount. It's a monthly amount. I don't know what's involved, but something like that is an ideal side gig to supplement your disability. So, all right. How we doing, Jam? You have some questions coming in?
Just few response from the pinned message that I put. Explain why you qualify in 2 sentences or less.
Okay. Can you read some of the responses to those before I start sharing my pretty picture?
All right. This one's from Nikki. PTSD, migraines, fibromyalgia.
Okay.
And Timothy's World, housebound, can't drive car anymore.
Okay. Better.
Ronald, still fighting the VA for terminal pancreatic cancer from AO exposure in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Antonia, injured my back at work, chronic pain. I'm 57 years old.
Okay.
All right. Give me 1 second. Okay, BJ, Pergola, TBI, Brian, injury, cannot stand or walk for more than 10 minutes.
That's the best one right now.
Mm-hmm.
What was that member's name again?
BJ Pergola.
Okay. All right. Good.
And shout out disabled officer. Hi, John. He said hi, Brian and Jam. Thank you
Hello. Thank you for your support. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Toya. Husband has long COVID symptoms. Hasn't worked since July 8th. Okay, this one's from Chrissy. Worried about my husband and him staying happy. My continuing disability SSDI.
Right.
Okay. Howdy, John. Michael, I am 58 years old, applied with an attorney. It took 5 months to get denied with chronic venous insufficiency. Next is reconsideration, I guess. I am very disappointed.
Okay.
And
all right. Are there more?
yes, just 2 left. Inspired Faith, new to your channel, currently on short-term disability in corporate job, unable to perform due to depression, anxiety, IBS, raising my adopted grandson. I am 62 years old, scheduled to talk with HR.
Okay, good.
Charles Howard, I'm 45 with a 10th grade education. I have been a iron worker for 25 years. I was in a car accident 7 months ago. My knee femur fractured and broken hip. Still can't bend my knee. Am I eligible?
Okay, good one. Is it easy? Read one more, and then when you're done, let me know. I'll stop interrupting you. I promise.
Okay. Real Beauty, major depressive disorder and can't walk much. Have a cane to assist chronic pain, sciatica in right leg, unable to drive, but have driver's license.
Okay.
Okay. Last one, Charles Howard. I have a lot of medication and deal with pain daily. I have two more. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, Von Ray, my medical records under review for 8 months. What can I do to make sure they have everything they need? And Chrissy, husband gets really upset with me anytime I make effort to do anything industrious. When working before my disability factors that warranted the payments, I worked many hours, had six-figure salary, PTSD, migraine.
Okay.
Last one, Vince, osteoarthritis in right hip and both knees. I'm 58 and weigh 479 pounds.
Okay. Jam, excellent job. Everybody give Jam a shout out.
Thank you.
Well done. Is it easy for you to go back to BJ's and read that one more time?
Yeah, sure, BJ. Pergola. Okay,
Hmm?
TBI, Brian, injury cannot stand for or walk for more than 10 minutes.
Okay. So for those of you that are looking to get your benefits and keep your benefits, just keep what Jam went through in those explanations. There was one that stood out, which was BJ's. The others fall into all into one category. Now, I'm going to share my screen with you and go through my bottom line example. All right, now I want to see, maybe I can change this view. Let's see if I can do that. Okay. All right. Can everybody see my picture that I have? Made it myself.
Can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
All right. So this is what I am referring to as the bottom line. In the bottom left-hand corner, where there's the start button, I'm going to walk through this, what I hope to be a simple visual example of what it takes to get your benefits and keep your benefits, with the ultimate goal of ending up down here with the green sack of money, right? So right above the start here in the bottom left, you'll see this circle right here says number one, so diagnosis. Now, if you want to get your disability benefits approved, the first thing that you need is to have a condition that is diagnosed. If you don't have a condition that's diagnosed, then you don't know what it is. And without knowing what it is, it's not possible to go on to step 2. Okay. So let's say you have a diagnosis. Let's pick a condition. PTSD. How about that? Or somebody has PTSD and they also have chronic pain in their back. They've had like a lumbar fusion. So those two conditions, right? So one is self-reported in some senses because it's not visual, it's PTSD, and the other one is structural. So you have those two are diagnosed. Then you go on to step 2. Step 2 is you need to have them treated. These are the Social Security disability regulations. So if you have them treated and the doctor is requiring you for your back to go to physical therapy, to do other activities, take certain medications to deal with the discomfort and the pain, to see a counselor for your PTSD, that's the treatment piece, okay? So if you have 1, you've got the diagnosis, 2, you've got the treatment. Now let's say you have the diagnosis, but for PTSD, you're like, you know what? I don't want anybody to talk to. I don't want to deal with any counseling, anything. I just don't want to do that. And so you skip that piece. Well, if you skip that piece and you're not treated for it, Social Security is not going to be able to consider that as a key ingredient in your case. You're going to learn more why in a moment. So first diagnosis, second treatment. The third thing is limitations. Now, there's people that have PTSD and possibly people that have had back fusion that can function. They're fine. They can still lift 10 pounds. They can deal with people socially. All of that is in check. But in order for Social Security to approve somebody, this item 3 in the bottom right-hand corner, limitations, is you need to have documented limitations. So when I go back and I listen to everybody communicate in the group today, there was one person that communicated their limitations. That was BJ. Everybody else is over here communicating their diagnosis, what they have, which is part of it, right? But two people could have the same conditions. They could have PTSD and bad back, and they could have different levels of severity. One could have no limitations, and the other one could have limitations where they're not able to sit for more than 15 minutes, stand for more than 15 minutes, and the PTSD just puts them in a situation where they get angered really easy when the phone rings, when they're given a task, when they're taken any directions. So that person's different than somebody who doesn't have limitations. So if you get one thing today about wanting to get your benefits and keep your benefits, hopefully you get more than one, but when you're communicating, it's not your conditions, it's your limitations, right? So if somebody asks you why you qualify, it should be that I have PTSD, I'm not able to be around people, I'm not able to take direct orders. When I'm given a time-sensitive task, I freak out, I freeze. I'm not able to sit for more than 15 minutes, not able to stand for more than 15 minutes. It can't work. And I've been seeing the doctor. I go there 3 times a month to get this stuff addressed, and I'm still not able to work. That's your commercials. Limitations first, followed by diagnosis and treatment. Explain it. If you can get that down to a couple sentences, and this will help you when, even if you're using a representative, if you're talking to them or you want to hire a representative, you get on the phone with them, you explain that to them, you're going to be pretty attractive. They're going to have a good understanding that you know how to communicate your situation. Okay, last key point here is this. We've gone around to 3 with the limitations, but everything needs to be supported, like this whole triangle concept, by medical records. So you could have the diagnosis, you could have the treatment, you could have the limitations, but if your medical records are junk and Social Security cannot see that you have these 3 items in there, then it's going to be hard to get approved. Not impossible, but it's going to make it difficult to get approved. So in the work that we've done, like in the update that I just sent out, that went out yesterday, there is a whole new opportunity for people with medical records called the Cures Act, C-U-R-E-S, kicks into high gear in October, where all the medical records that you actually have are going to be mandated to be in your patient portal. And you're probably thinking, well, I have a patient portal and I see my medical records. Well, you don't see them all because they haven't all been in there. And that's what this is about. So there's a good opportunity coming up for people. So a tip for you is look in your patient portal now and then watch as things continue to develop as there'll be more. Okay, so recapping this whole thing here is diagnosis 1, conditions are treated 2, limitations 3, supported by your medical records. That's what will get your benefits and keep your benefits. So for those of you that are approved out there that went through and you had all this happen and then you stopped your treatment, I suggest that you get back in treatment because if you get a review, that's going to take the bucket of money away. That's where the problem is. Okay. So those are the key points. If there's questions on this, you can put them in the chat. If there's any other like questions that are like within my ability, there was a marriage question in there. I'm not so good at that. I know I got to stay in my lane, but any other questions that we have that Jam you haven't answered, if you want to give me a heads up, I'd be glad to address those at this time.
All right. This is a follow-up from Chrissy. I have benefits, but I'm afraid. Husband is afraid I will lose that, like I did my salary, because I couldn't maintain workload or work schedule. Now trying coping skills by eBay again. Husband won't let me.
Now, approved for disability benefits, Jam?
I believe so. She said I have benefits.
Okay, and trying to do some eBay work. I'm concerned about losing them.
Concerned.
Yeah.
And also trying to do some work.
Yeah.
But husband won't let her.
Yeah.
That's a marital.
Yeah, that part's difficult for me. I'm gonna try to stay in my lane here. You can work, and actually, in my opinion, it's healthy for you to work, but I don't want to disrupt the family dynamic. Regarding your benefits and keeping your benefits, the diagram that I just went through, if you control the controllables and do what you need to do to keep your benefits, you shouldn't have a challenge. Here at the Disability Digest, we have a benefit protection service that certain members are eligible for. And if we are working and managing your Medicare insurance, like you've enrolled in a plan through our direction, we've shown you all your options and you enroll in it, and you get a benefit, continuing benefit review, then you have access to us and our legal team to make sure that you keep your benefits. And we provide this service because we get paid from insurance companies to manage your insurance policy. In order to be on Medicare, you need to be on your disability benefits. So it doesn't cost you anything. We're like an added higher level of support. So if you're super concerned about losing your benefits, then you can reach out to us here and we can see if you might be a candidate for the benefit protection service. All right, Jam, what's next?
All right, follow up. Oh, just do that later. This one is from Dust. Hi, I have been receiving my benefits for 6 months now. I would like to move out of state. How would this affect my benefits? Thank you.
Moving.
Mhm.
So it can affect your benefits. It won't affect your check amount because it's a federal program. So let's say you're receiving an average check of $1,350. It's what we see people get approved. That's one piece. That's going to stay the same. But when you move from your zip code to another zip code, what is available for healthcare coverage is going to be different. Now, if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan like Medicare Part C, and when you go to the doctors, you show like United Healthcare, Humana, Aetna, plan like that, which like 95% of the people are, then you would need to look at the plans in that area and the services that are in that area. That's something that we can help you do as part of a benefit review, that as a member you can request it, or if you haven't received the invite to request it, just reply to any of the emails and say I'd like a benefit review. And we can go through that with you. Now that's one scenario. If you happen to be like the 2% that is on regular Medicare still and is using a Medigap plan, like you're paying a monthly premium to cover what Medicare doesn't cover, then there would be no change. I don't expect Well, let me put it this way. I can't presume because I don't know you, but for most people, that's not applicable because most people are not on a Medigap solution.
All right, for A1, how about can't sleep more than an hour a day and can't sit, stand, or walk for more than 20 minutes with extreme exhaustion after doing any activity?
Okay, I'm gonna score that. I'm
Mhm.
gonna say that's a solid 7.5. That's good. One thing you didn't put in there at the end is what's causing those limitations. Otherwise, I would have bumped it up to maybe a 9.
Mhm. Okay, as said, how does a person apply for a disability with a reading and writing disability to fill out the forms to get the disability?
Tough to do on your own. This how we can help you here is we have a disability approval course available to members. There's no charge for it. Teaches you what to do and what not to do to go through the process. And it's put together with industry experts. There's attorneys, like 3 attorneys, ex-Social Security caseworker, and lots of our members have contributed information to it. So that teaches you what to do. I don't believe that's going to solve your challenge directly because you still have the communication limitation. So maybe there's somebody that you have in your support system, in your family, that could help you use the course that we have. The other option that you have here, if it's a fit, is either we could or somebody else could that we know do the work for you as your disability representative. So those are your 2 options. You can request to, if you're a member, just reach out to us and we can give you more details on what your options are. So both ways work if you use them effectively. Thousands of people have used our course on their own, saved all the legal fees. If you're on our YouTube channel, you can hear all about it.
Okay, from Henry John, I'm on permanent disability for multiple issues, and what age can I stop worrying about them taking my benefits away?
Great question. You are subject to a continuing disability review until you are of full retirement age, FRA. For most, that is 67 and something. And you can find that out. I don't know if it's in your online Social Security account. Maybe if somebody knows out there in the audience, if it's in your online Social Security account, my SSA account, that would be one way. If not, then you've got to call them. So one, that is what happens when you reach full retirement age, is you don't have you're not subject to the reviews. 2, you're not subject to the earning limitations anymore. So if you wanted to, you can go burn a bunch of money if you feel better.
All right, from A1, stage 4 colorectal cancer in 2016. From surgery and the treatments, I now have advanced connective tissue disease. I'm in end of life palliative care approved in 2017. Due to terminal condition, no cures or hope for rehabilitation. The condition only gets worse. And you can only put so many words at any time. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
All right, that's unfortunate. If there's a question associated with that, I would be glad to take a shot at it.
Um, Not yet. Charles Howard, I can't walk without a walker more than 50 feet. I can't sit more than 2 hours without having my leg reclined. My leg won't bend, and I
Mhm.
take a lot of medication. Follow up, I'm in the reconsideration process.
All right, you could tighten up your presentation by, if you take a lot of medications, is that 3, 5, 10? And what are the side effects? Do they make you tired? Do they make you irritable? How do they impact you? That's just a tip for you.
Mhm. This one's from Chrissy again. I cannot leave my house at all without my service dog. due to PTSD? Do benefits help at all with service dog expenses or supplies or training?
Oh, I love this question. I learned that there's workplace impairment, not saying this right. There's impairment related work expenses. And one of the expenses that you can write off as like a cost of doing business or working is a service dog. And you might be thinking, well, I don't work. And then it wouldn't be applicable if it's just you and you're not working. But if, let's say you have a spouse and your spouse has taxable income. I'm off on a little bit of a tangent here, but you could start a business and show it as a loss for, I'm not an accountant, but I'm going to say like 3 years, and write down those expenses from your service dog and your cell phone and the other things that you're doing and show an effort to make money. And that would reduce your partner's taxable income if you're, in that example. So that's how a service dog, from my understanding, could benefit you.
Okay, from would be, are you more likely to get it having a court case?
Meaning that somebody is applying, are you more likely to get approved at a court case?
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned about going to court. I'll walk you through what we see here. If we work on a case directly here, then there's a 47% chance they're going to get approved and paid at the initial application. Then the next stage is reconsideration. And that's like 15%. If you go to court, you could have a great case. Like if you look at this chart right here, you could have all of these medical records, doctor's support. But if your case goes in front of a judge that has an approval rating of 21%, then you could have a beautiful case that should be approved, but is not. So it concerns me about going to court. That's one of the things in the work that we do. We only work with a few people every month. We work our tail off to not go to court. One, it's expensive, and two, you don't know about the guy in Dallas North hearing office that, maybe he forgot to pick up a gallon of milk on the way home last night and his wife lit into him and he's having a bad day and he looks at your case and denied. So, by the way, one more thing on that. If you look at, and these figures, they used to be available out there, but maybe they still are, the approval ratings for judge. In that same office where there's somebody that's having a 19 or 21%, the typical approval rate is like 60, 65% nationally at a hearing. So when you see a 19%er come in there, it's like, how do you do that? Because it's the same rules that everybody else is following. Why is your interpretation of the rules at 19% versus the 60 or 65 that everybody else has?
Okay, from Natalie, how do I tell or get my doctor to document my symptoms just in case I do get a review? Okay,
great. By the way, there's 202 people here. Thank you all for showing up today. There's other work that we have done on this that is in much more detail, but I'm going to give you the condensed version, and then you can look for doctor support on the YouTube channel or ask us. You want to communicate those limitations that I pointed out in step 3 in each and every doctor's visit. And what the strategy is that we use to help people, even if they're still working all the way through, is journal. Just keep track of what your limitations are. You might be thinking, oh my God, it's extra work. I don't need it. I don't feel well. Well, you have to do it, but it's disability income insurance from my perspective, and it doesn't take very long. So write them down. Then when you have your doctor's visit, you want to bring in your limitations. You don't want to bring in a lot of information. You want to have a simple list. I usually have a book in here, but I don't. That just lists your limitations. I can sit for 15 minutes. I can stand for 20 minutes. I'm not able to lift more than 5 pounds. I'm sleeping about 4 hours a night. I have the ability to focus and remember repetitive tasks for maybe an hour a day. I'm irritable and not able to take directions from others, like 4 or 5 of them. You bring them into your doctor, and this might be uncomfortable for you folks, and say, listen, these are my limitations, okay? And the strategy is, put your eyes back on my beautiful diagram that I made, is that you have the diagnosis, you're getting treatment, and doc, you're still treating me, and these are my limitations. Next time I come in, I want to see if we can move those limitations. Maybe some of them will get better and you would feel better. Doesn't mean that you don't qualify for disability, but the fact that they're documented. So then you hand them the piece of paper and they put these in your medical records. So then the next step is, if you get a review or if you're going through the approval process, Social Security comes in and looks at your medical records. What do they see? You have diagnosis, treatment, limitations, because the doctors put in there that you can't sit, can't stand, can't sleep, right? So make sure you do it. And if your doctor will not put those in your treatment notes, it's your right as a patient to communicate those, then you should look for a new doctor, because this could be a problem getting approved or keeping your benefits. Usually doesn't happen. Very few instances that I've heard where doctors have said, you know what, I'm not going to put this in your chart. They might question your limitations, but.
Okay, follow-up from would be, I have been denied twice and now have court. I have doctor support and everything.
I wish you well. We have here at the Disability Digest, we have a what to do and not to do to prepare for your Social Security disability hearing. It's a course. So if you're not enrolled into this course, it's something that you have to request or we have to start for you. It'll make a big difference, especially if you're using an attorney. It's going to give you kind of a feel for like the environment of court, which used to be going to a physical court. I expect you're having a phone hearing. So it'll give you tips for that. Some of the key things is it's going to give you the questions that are commonly asked of you in court or asked to your attorney. And what we did to put this segment together is we listened to hearings, actual hearings. It's like 40 different hearings, and we extracted the questions that a judge asks individuals, put them in a summary. And so you know what could possibly be asked, and you have and you're prepared and how to answer it. There's just a few things. And then if you're using an attorney going to court, which most do, then you could help you keep your attorney in check and make sure that they're advising you properly.
Okay, follow-up from Charles. I take 5 medications and they prevent me from driving and make me drowsy and dizzy at times.
Good. Yeah, they make you drowsy. How many naps a day do you need? It's another thing you can put in there. If you're required and your body is asking of you to take 2 naps a day that are 45 minutes in length, and they're not a luxury, they're a necessity, then you're not employable.
Okay, more of a statement from A1. Not to mention how we are treated by society. Society like we don't matter. We are a burden, and people don't take anything we say do seriously. And if I could make more money and not be on SSDI, I would. This stuff is terrible. We are under the poverty level everywhere in this country we live.
Well, I do not disagree with your statement. I tend to err on the positive side and to make efforts here to show you what you can do to get your benefits, keep your benefits, and maximize them. But we all have to play the hand that we're dealt. I hope you find something here that will, make your life a little easier. You'll meet some people here that you can connect with. That's what I hope.
Okay, from Chrissy, follow up. I wish disability could help with legal fees. I was attacked by my former boss or owner of A, B, and B. I used to run and was the founder of their wedding package program.
This sounds like a court case to me. Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
if it is, and there was some employment involved, there's people like Stephen Heisler that has helped our members here understand if they have a case. Yeah, and oftentimes if you do, these individuals will take it on for no upfront money. It's just performance based. So you could get it resolved. Just an idea. Yeah, there's free legal aid as well. That is often available from either Centers for Independent Living or the 211 service. It's other things that you could check out.
Yeah, follow up from that. I was embarrassed about assault, but did file for unemployment and he denied. He kept a file of articles written by me and about me about depression.
This is a comment from the same
Chrissy.
Chrissy.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I don't have a response for that. That was a statement, right? Okay.
All right, that's it.
That's it. Perfect timing. Great. Jam, thank you for your contribution. Danielle,
You're
good to
welcome.
have you with us. All of you out there, all you wonderful people, thank you for joining us here today. If you like the work that we do, there's a share button on this. You can send it out to others. So here at the Disability Digest, if you are not a member or we haven't heard from you in a while, we encourage you to get the best service that we can provide you for no charge, is to join us or update your membership. And the value of doing that at the Disability Digest is you complete a profile that helps us understand, like, are you trying to get your disability benefits approved? Are you approved and your concerns are keeping them or maximizing them? And then based on that and some other questions, we can help you go through the disability approval process, hopefully get approved fast. We can help you with overpayments or CDRs that you're getting and help you maximize your benefits. So that's the best way that we can help you. So we're here most Wednesdays. Hopefully you'll come back and join us. Thanks, everybody. It's been great to be with you today. Make it a great day.
Thank you, guys.